To Studio 5. Love, as we know, is at the center of marriage, but with changing dynamics and two different, sometimes very different personalities, it's easy to feel that love start to fade over the years. My next guest says 4 simple questions can help you get back on track. Studio 5 contributor Dr. Matt Townsend has an inventory of sorts for those struggling relationships. Good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, Brooklyn.
I'm sure a lot of couples land in your office and they can't quite articulate why they're there. They just know a feeling is missing.
Yeah, they know something's missing, and they usually know it's the other person's fault. So that they've got. And so it's really interesting to me because we get angry, we have a lot of weird emotions, and even when they should have passed by now, we could still be angry with something our partner's done years ago or didn't do years ago, or the mere fact that we got married and I didn't know everything about you. I didn't know we'd start out $10,000 in debt, and that still bothers me. So if you have stuff that's still bothering you from years ago, your feelings are a great indicator for how we can fix this relationship today.
I guess that comment that love starts to fade, that's depressing and a little bit discouraging. So how do you motivate couples to feel like they have it within themselves to turn that around?
So think this through. And we always think of it as a couple thing, but love is a feeling, love is an emotion, love is a verb. So the number one way, if love is fading, the number one way to fix it is to love. Period. Just love. So usually when love is fading from your heart, it's because you are no longer being loving. Now, you've got a million reasons because they're messed up.
See, because I think because they're messed up, I think a lot of people would say, okay, I'm not being loving, but I'm also not being loved.
Right, and so which do you think bothers you more? Being neglected for love or turning into somebody that's angry, disrespectful, discouraging, unappreciative, and not dedicated? So I believe there's certain things that are signs that even though there are reasons that I should be mad, I'm not mad because there are reasons. That's just how I justify it. Why I'm mad is because I'm becoming unloving. I'm becoming something I never wanted to be and I never thought I would be, and I'm becoming it. So the way we fix it is we have to figure out if we are losing love through different principles. And if we are, then we just need to work on that.
This little inventory consists of 4 questions. The first one, do you truly respect, emphasis on truly respect and show respect to your spouse?
So think this through. Now, some people right there, when you ask that, they're like, well, I did, or I would if he were respectful or respectable. But simply the question is, do you respect your spouse? Do you respect their needs as equal to your needs? Their ideas as equal to your ideas? Do you revere that they are your equal? Do you get that you're not over them or better than them? Do you truly respect them? Because if you don't respect your spouse, you are going to become somebody you're not. You'll start to demean your spouse without even meaning to, but you're justified because they did that thing that's not respectable. They yelled at the children. So I don't respect you because you yell at my children.
Because you don't deserve that respect.
Exactly. The problem with that is, and that it makes sense logically, it's brilliant. The problem is, it's not moral. It's not who you are. So you don't create morality by being immoral. If I want my father or my husband, to be more moral with my children, then I must be moral. And if I don't, then that's where you start to fall in the marriage. And that's where the marriage starts to have the pain.
So you talk about it kind of stepping away from logic. Is it a left brain practice? Is it a right brain practice?
I kind of do it even differently. Is it a spirit practice or kind of an ego practice? And my ego loves the logic, but my spirit loves the moral. So I'm going to go for the morality and the things that I just know are right. Now, it's super hard because if somebody disrespects you, it's so normal to be frustrated and want to disrespect them back. The problem is the minute we disrespect back, I'm no longer who I want to be. And I honestly believe deep down in my soul, that's what makes me mad.
Question number 2 on this inventory, do you appreciate what your partner contributes?
Now think this through. Do you right now know 5 things that you just don't like that they're doing? You just don't like it. And you wish they'd get off their duff and come over and help us more at dinner. Like you can't do a dish.
Well, if you look at it like that, that's an easy list to write about anybody.
So think of the question, do you truly appreciate your partner? You appreciate who they are, not who they can be. Oh, I love his potential. He's incredibly has a ton of potential. Do you love who he is? Do you love what he brings? Because if you don't love who he is and what he brings, and if you don't appreciate who he is and what he brings, do you use words of appreciation? Do you still say thank you for what he is bringing? Now, obviously, we got to get more out of him. We keep thinking. But your pain isn't the lack. Your pain is the fact that you aren't even an appreciative partner to your spouse anymore.
I think a lot of people might think that acceptance, so to speak, that appreciation comes as the comfort in the relationship increases, but that's, I imagine, not always the case.
Well, the weirdest thing about it, well, it totally could.
Like the more,
it's also
you know what
learned,
I mean? The more comfortable you get, the more accepting you are of that person.
That's what we think. The problem is the more comfortable we get, the more they might slack off. The more they don't touch you as much as you want to be touched. So all of a sudden we start noticing I'm not getting what I thought I'd get, so I'm not going to then give you what you want. So I don't appreciate you, you don't appreciate me.
So it's a continued effort.
So it's always a continued effort. And more importantly, what it might be about too is making sure that I'm somebody that is constantly showing appreciation. Not because it's going to get me something, just because it's right.
Back to that morality.
I'm going to get more out of doing what's right.
The next question, are you truly dedicated to your partner?
A truly dedicated, meaning simply, am I in? Does my partner know that I am more into them than anyone else on this earth? Is that the first person I'm thinking about? Am I dedicated? If I had to choose between you and a friend, would my spouse make the win? Would they win the deal there? Because if I'm not dedicated to my spouse knows it, but more importantly, I know it deep inside myself. I know I have 3 other things I put before you. And I'm gonna bet for anybody that believes in being dedicated to their spouse, I'm gonna bet that makes them feel disconnected. That makes them feel a little guilty, like I should do better. But then when we don't do better, guess what we feel? When we don't, so when we have guilt and we don't change, it turns to anger. Guilt unresolved turns to anger. And when I start getting angry, I should be angry at myself because I need to be a more appreciative spouse. But instead what I do is I find reasons why I don't need to appreciate you.
Gotcha. Encouragement is one of those, the final inventory checklists.
Encouragement is, do I share my heart? Am I able to share my heart? And do I make it easy for my partner to share theirs? Do I encourage them in their career? Do I encourage them in their endeavors? And am I out there being their cheerleader? Am I their best friend? Am I still there and giving the attention of a friend? Because if I'm not, I become a discouraging person, and nobody wants to be a discouraging person. And now everyone says, well, okay, so I did that. I tried all these. I tried them all. And it didn't change him. Nothing changed. But here's the key. Don't look for the change in him. When you're encouraging, even though he doesn't deserve it, it should make you change. It's your principle. If you're dedicated, even though he's not dedicated, it shouldn't fix the marriage always, but it should change you. And then what it gives you is morality and strength to go forward and do what you need to do, or be stronger and demand or ask for more of what you need.
The always inspiring Dr. Matt Townsend. Thank you so much. You are training other people to coach like this alongside you.
This is it, Brooke.
And if people have questions, you're holding an open house.
Huge thing, and free. It's free of charge. Anybody that wants to learn to be a coach from me, go to coachingwithmatt.com, actually coachwithmatt.com. On January 20th, we're going to sit down 7 o'clock, free of charge for about an hour and a half. I'm going to talk about my new coaching program, and it's free. You come, we sit down, and I'm going to show you how we can make you a coach of relationships and eventually of your own marriage too.
Awesome. We all know someone who would make a great coach, a great mentor, and so that's a great place to start is at that activity.
Brooke.
Thank you. All right, you